Welcome to the program. 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 You're listening to the Cruel and Unusual Sitdown podcast. Pew, pew. I would now like to play a song for you. Although it escapes me the name of the composition, that tune has always been something close to me. It's sort of, to me, almost like an anthem. They said don't do it. They said, don't do that. No, don't do that. They said, don't do that. But I said, I'll just be unapologetic. That's all you have to do now. Do something that offends a group or one person even, or whatever, any kind of offense. You could yell at a dinner party that the cause of the dinner party is superfluous. So, and then just be unapologetic. Just when you're confronted about it, hey, you kind of ruined my dinner party. You know, it takes a lot of effort. You gotta figure out how much food to make. You have to have the food prepared at just the right time so that all the dishes are the right temperature at the time of dinner. And then the issue really is getting everyone there at a dinner party. And then you come in, but then you just say, I'm unapologetic. And then they just have to go, oh, okay, I didn't know. Okay, now that you said that's fine. Okay, that clears it up. That clears it up. Dinner parties. Okay, yeah, unapologetic. That's unapologetic dinner parties. Have you heard of this? You go in your refrigerator, you get a lime, a lemon, some mint, some ice water. You pour that in a glass, you muddle it muddle it all together, and they just pour that right down in the toilet. This concoction replaces Drano. Good evening. The following broadcast is brought to you live by nobody. In case you missed it, back in June of 2015, NaNaNa threw his hat into the election ring. Now, he wasn't exactly met with applause. In fact, he was laughed at. But NaNaNa wasn't one to be deterred by a little ridicule. As he embarked on his campaign journey, he managed to offend quite a few groups along the way, except for the white nativist extremists and far-right factions who seemed to embrace him, if not with open arms, with open skinheads. Notably, there was this exclusively fraternity called the Dapper Boys, where membership required publicly offending and shaming a candidate at the police academy in front of two special brothers who were dedicated to preserving the sanctity of the Dapper Boy gang. NaNaNa's unconventional approach eventually led him to clinch the title of the 17th president. Quite the twist, right? But here's where things take a dive into the murky waters of politic. It turns out NaNaNa, once in power, made some questionable deals with foreign adversaries, notably Russia, though it was only briefly through a shady character named Mercury Finn. Mercury Finn even jetted off to Moscow to cozy up to Atavar Rasputin, the president of Russia. Shockingly, NaNaNa seemed to have no qualms about using foreign enemies to gain an edge, even resorting to hacking his opponents. And the craziest part? Nobody really did anything about it. His allies brushed it off as if it were a hoax, while his adversaries merely wagged their fingers in chagrin. And NaNaNa's international escapades did not stop there. He cozied up to dictators like Skim S-Dune, for instance, of the People's Republic of Korea, and Aklamenta Rodi, the Indian PM, infamous for causing chaos with his currency policies. One time he told everyone to throw away their $1,000 notes in the streets, causing chaos. And there was even a clownish figure down in a town called Shittleberry Brazil, Stabby Older Nero. He got a nod from NaNaNa during his stint as Brazil's dictator. NaNaNa's reign saw the undoing of international agreements like NATO and TAPAPA, leaving a trail of unbalance in his wake. As his term came to a close, facing a tough re-election bid, NaNaNa resorted to promising the American people the moon, including an impossible wall that stretched farther than humanly possible, and demanding Mexico to foot the bill. Predictably, his failure to deliver led to his epic downfall, with voters sending a resounding message and saying, "You've done nothing but spread peanut butter at the peanut factory, scooper." But NaNaNa wasn't one to gracefully exit the stage. He cried foul, claiming electoral fraud, despite all evidence to the contrary. And when his supporters stormed the Capitol, breaking the sacred tradition of peaceful transition of power, NaNaNa's legacy was forever tarnished. In the end, NaNaNa's presidency served as kind of a cautionary tale, a reminder of the fragility of democracy and the perils of unchecked power, and a chilling continuation of the chaos surrounding NaNaNa's tenure. His supporters orchestrated violent insurrection, at the nation's capital, leaving 4 people perished. Shockingly, NaNaNa and his loud allies, who know nothing, downplay the severity of the situation, labeling it as simply an act of tourism with an edge. NaNaNa himself remains indifferent, callously remarking, "This is what happens." As the dust settles, NaNaNa reluctantly vacates Washington at the designated time, allowing the president-elect, St. Arthur the Great, to assume office. However, NaNaNa refuses to acknowledge his defeat, ultimately claiming that he can ride up and down and he is still the president, despite the blatant disregard for democratic norms being totally rooked. No significant action is taken against him, imagine. Meanwhile, 3 clownish talking heads, Agate Frosty, Moss McScrewball, and Burpee O'Dansky, continuously peddle falsehoods to the public, insisting that NaNaNa can do no wrong. Their relentless dissemination of lies results in numerous firings and lawsuits, and endless cable news, yet they persist in their deceitful narrative. They diskince. They won't stirp. No significant action is taken against him. No significant action. Their relentless dissemination of lies results in numerous firings and lawsuits, and they persist in their deceitful narrative, even fabricating claims about voting machines and election workers stalking. In any other system, in any other system, NaNaNa's flagrant abuse of power would undoubtedly lead to legal repercussions. However, his allies continue to shield him from accountability, while his opponents voice their exasperation and demand an end to his antics. Despite mounting opposition, NaNaNa shamelessly announces his intention to run for president once more, this time vowing to establish a dictatorship and transform the nation into a theocratic dictatorship state. In summary, now listen to this part. This is the main part. In summary, the saga of NaNaNa's presidency serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of democracy and the dangers of unchecked authoritarianism, as he clings to power with brazen defense. The nation stands at a crossroads, grappling with lurming threats of tyranny and the erosion of democratic values. So do you use basically or essentially? See what I mean? So which one do you use? The way I use them, it depends. So if it's someone, I don't like either word. I think both of them have basically is overused, and essentially seems a little extra for its purpose. You can't say something like, well, it's essentially the toilet didn't flush right. It doesn't sound. You could say basically the toilet's broke. That works. So it's like the difference between kitchen and it's the difference between chef and cook. So if we all know that one. You say the chef sounds right if because you're trying to not sound as harsh. But if you're upset or if you want to sound harsh, then you say the cook is full of shit. Or you say the chef has really overdone himself today with this dish. This entree. Are you kidding me with this entree? So do you say basically or do you say essentially? Because here's what I do. But I don't really do this, but I made it up for the purpose of this. So if someone I meet, if I notice like they're a professor, I always say basically. I always defy their expectations. I know they're expecting me to say essentially because I'm trying to upgrade myself in their presence. So I always say basically, just to make sure. And then, but, so if I like them though, so then if I know them and I like them, then I will say essentially, because then I'm saying I'm in the game. I'm like, oh, well, essentially, if you look at it, Israel is just a colony. So Israel is just an extension of the colonies. Or, well, essentially, Israel is just a modern day extension of ancient colonialism. Or, if you look at it closely, you'll be able to see essentially Okay. Then there's the other part. So then that's okay. So if there are maybe more cerebral individuals, that means smart. So if they're smart, or if they're in the part of the intelligentsia, then I have my way of doing it. But now most people are not. So now then it's easy. Okay, so it just depends on whether you like them or not, or whether you know. Now, if you really don't like them, and it has to have a history, you don't want to do it just for no reason. But if you have a history with someone, and they're not the type of cerebral individual, then you always say essentially every time you speak to them. That's easy. You always use that. Well, essentially, what you're doing is saying, you just give them that. You always use that word on them every time. It labors them. It's worth it. But then if then the basic would be just basically. So if it's not that, then you just say basically, and don't make too much of it. You shouldn't make too much of it. I don't think you should try to analyze these things too much. It should just whatever comes natural to you. But you could use this word. You could use the difference between those two words right there to cause more trouble than you realize. That's all. It's another tool. It's another sharpened tool in your toolbox of language. Part of the benefits of the show. You get to learn you learn. Not really. Everything I say should be looked up. Okay. I had that caveat. Okay, I have to get out of here.
What are you drawing?
The brook, in it.
The brook? That looks nothing like the brook.
Major Charles, I was thinking on it. Well, it don't make no difference, do it? No one's ever gonna see the original. I'll make it look how I want it to look. I will.
That's preposterous. This is going in a scientific journal, Corporal. You have been ordered by proclamation of the Queen to draw it exactly as it is for the purpose of research.
There's no one who wants to come out to these parts, are there now? The heathen beast, with Indians and that, a man would be foolhardy to venture out in unexplored country fire. I'm gonna make fast work of it so I can get to be hunting.
What the devil? It doesn't even look anything like the brook, much less the brook that is standing there in front of you. I am afraid you are not up to the task if this is the sort of work you would pass off. Scientific minds will be poring over these drafts, you know. It's going to be featured in numerous publications from coast to coast. They will spot a fake, trust me.
Well, what if I just make it more interesting, maybe add a ship or two? Or how about an archway?
An archway? Have you gone mad from native fever? There hasn't been a ship here since Adam and Eve, you ridiculous dullard. Here's someone we should speak to now.
Gentlemen, it is quite a fine afternoon, is it not? I just had a chat with the catering. I'm told they've corrected some of the problems they were having with chili powder, but they do warn to watch for ants at dinner rolls. I'm also afraid we are running out of fresh bison. Now, good gracious, what is that you're drawing, Corporal?
It's a brook, in it.
It doesn't look like a brook.
I tried to tell him.
It doesn't look at all like a brook to me. Where is the bank? Is this supposed to represent something that I am not seeing?
I warned him. Sir, if I may speak, I commanded this gentleman to draw the brook as his, but he wants to go his own way on it. Took a bit of artistic license.
What's that?
Artistic license.
What is that? Do artists need licenses? I'm afraid that will not play well with the brass to know that we've been hiring out art jobs to unlicensed chaps. I'm quite certain paperwork will be involved in the long run. I'll send word to my scribes at once.
No, I'm afraid there's been a bit of a misunderstanding, you see. Corporal, what is your name again?
It's Brannigan, sire. I think I've had enough interruption for one afternoon. If you don't mind, gentlemen, would you please allow me to get on with it, eh?
You'll listen good, Corporal Brannigan, or you'll be sent home.
I can go home. I'll be off by morning, I will.
Can it, Brannigan? Sir, Brannigan has been drawing whatever he likes instead of what his subjects actually look like. I've been beside myself trying to dissuade him. Go on, tell the captain. What else have you drawn, Brannigan?
I drew a game cop. A real tricky bird he was. I don't think I got the beak down.
You don't think you got the beak right? What the blazes? Did you hear that, sire?
Well, what difference does it make, Major? Think on it. Use your intelligence, sir. No one is ever going to see it.
But, sire,
Way out here, I dare say it took a great deal of gold to get us this far on the expedition. By the time anyone sees this, we'll all be dead. In the unlikely event we survive to deliver them home, there is little chance we will have our work double-checked. No bloody way anyone would venture here just to verify the gamecocks speak. Would you agree, Major?
yes, but...
Well, it's settled. Now, Brannigan, listen and listen good. I expect you to be fully licensed by Monday week. No excuses.
Aye. Captain Starling, how am I supposed to get a license out here?
You should have thought about that, Brannigan, before you took on the responsibility. It is this sort of half-assery, I tell you, that is positively ruining the service. It used to be a good thing. I used to be a proud man. Now I am looking at the broken pieces of my life, wondering what is the point.
Here. That is a splendid drawing of the brook. Corporal, keep up the good work.
Brannigan doesn't have his license, General.
No one is going to check it way out here, are they, Captain? Where are they storing the dinner rolls? I want to sneak a few before lunch. If you see any bison, be sure to draw them before you kill. It will be no good to draw a dead buffalo, gentlemen. Such a dreadful species, and then those big cows they chase around with spears.
General, sir, I think you've mistaken the Indians for the bison. It is a common mistake.
Either way, can you make them look scary, by chance? I think it will play well at home if the natives look very, like scary, like dangerous, savage even. Nobody will ever know the difference.
So let's see if we can go down this list here. You know, this shit had a grievance. He says, hey, he wants to get back up that guy's asshole. So, he said the guy shit him out, plopped him out on the street like that. He should have been in the toilet. He said, hey, he had a case because, he'd been plopped on the street there. It made him dry out. He could have stayed moist and warm in the guy's asshole, but he didn't because the guy didn't put him in the proper place. He said, hey, you know what? If I had been flushed down the toilet, there's nothing I could do about it. You know, he conceded that right away. The piece of shit conceded it. He said, hey, yeah, you're right. If I had been flushed down the toilet, I can't say nothing about it. Yeah, but that's not what happened. He said, hey, this guy plopped me out on the street. That's just a fact. That's the fact of the case. You can't deny it because I'm here on the street. He said, look, I'm here on the street. I'm caged in. He says, I'm caged in on the street. You can't prove that. You can't say that I wasn't here. They said, well, there might be some problems with the, they said some of the feces might have been handled a couple of times by some well-meaning individuals, but nonetheless, the shit was being handled. They said there could be a problem with the evidentiary chain of ownership there. That's That's what they said. So, but then as the proceedings went on, there came up a new case because there was a countersuit filed by the next shit. So the next shit in the guy's asshole says, hey, no way, you can't. He says, look, what you're proposing right now, what this piece of shit's trying to propose right now is contradictory to my old rights as a piece of shit up in someone asshole. He said, look, I'm up in this asshole, I have rights. He said, if I wasn't in the asshole, I would have certain rights. But now that I'm in there, he says, hey, because I'm up, look. He says, hey, because I have certain rights when I'm in the asshole. I have certain rights. And he says, look, you can't, what you're proposing takes away my rights as a piece of shit in the guy's asshole. He says he inherits these rights. Like they pass down. And he inherited them. And he's going to use them, he says. He says he can't have a new piece of shit shoved up there. He said it would upset the balance of his own, his own body when he gets out, when he gets plopped out. He said, God forbid, if he was put on the street, he wouldn't like it, but he's hoping he's going to get a toilet. He says the odds are pretty good. But he said there's no way he's going to accept an old piece of shit being shoved back up there. He said his own rights. Now then, next thing you know, contents of the stomach are talking. They got their own claims. They say, hey, look, this is going to affect us. He starts shoving shit back up in there. They say, hey, look, he starts shoving shit back up. It's going to start affecting us up here. Yeah. Next thing you know, you got lettuce out there. You got tomatoes. You got pretty much every ingredient from a hamburger out there is saying, hey, every hamburger ingredient in the world is making a claim saying, hey, look, we could end up in this shit. That could affect us. You start running shit back up through this guy. They said, hey, that affects everybody. It affects the whole chain. So they filed a class action. And then they filed a class action together against the claim of the shit, of the original shit. Well, it wasn't enough. So they got the seeds. They took the seeds of all the plants. And they got the eggs. And they said, hey, if you start shoving shit back up in there like that, you're going to affect the whole chain. We're part of it. You have to affect us. We can't. That's going to affect us too. Yeah. So, yeah. The piece of shit got evicted out of that asshole. He said, hey, that's an eviction. He said, hey, look, this amounts to an eviction here. I was evicted illegally. I wasn't given any warning. Wake up one morning. Next thing you know, I'm out on the street. The guy throws me out on the street. He didn't even let me know about it. He didn't even give me any notification. Yeah. Imagine that. He never even gave me notification. So, usually, there's a standard procedure. You're supposed to get notification when something like that happens. It's a normal procedure. But this guy, I don't know what he ate. I don't know what else happened. Yeah, I think some people think he might have been drinking. That's why that happened. But, we don't know. No one knows. But, in the end, he got evicted from the guy's asshole. And then the judge threw out his case. Same thing. Same result. But, he's got protected status. So, he's still out there. Yeah. All right. Well, I got to get out of here. Oh, yeah. I'll talk to you later. All right. So, the other day, me and my friend Casey, Casey Anthony, we're over there, slinging loosies over there by the Fed courthouse. And Chuck Norris comes over there, I look over, there's Chuck Norris. I said, hey, pal, you want to get out of the way? He's standing right in my way so no one can even see me there. I said, hey, I'm trying to work, I'm trying to do my business here, And this guy, he's standing right in front of me. So then he acts like, so then he goes, yeah, I'm Chuck Norris. I'm Chuck Norris. I said, I don't care. I don't care if you're the Queen of England, pal. You get the fuck out of my way. This guy says I know the martial arts and this and that. I said, hey, Chuck Norris, how about this, pal? Punched his lights out. This guy, he didn't understand it. He never been punched like that before. He said, oh, but my karate. And then he was on the ground saying that. But he said, oh, but I know the karate. I punched the guy's lights out. Chuck Norris. It was Chuck Norris. I didn't believe it either. Kind of believed it. Because the thing is, he was a little bit too confident. I could tell he was overconfident. He said, I'm Chuck Norris. I said, yeah, you're Chuck Norris. That don't mean you can't get punched out, pal. So he acted like because he was Chuck Norris. So then I just left. And he was on the ground. He was passed out. So I didn't hear nothing about it on the news, so I assumed that the fight was over. And I go meet my friend Anthony over there later. He tells me, hey, who was that lady you was punching earlier? I said, I wasn't a lady, that was Chuck Norris. This guy. Hey, I'm just going to say it. Donald Trump is a scum-sucking fuckbag. And anyone who supports him is a stupid, scum-sucking fuckbag. Pew, pew. This has been the Cruel and Unusual Sit-Down Podcast. Coming to you weekdays at 11. Hey YouTube, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe.